Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Scraptember and 30 Days of Sketches combined. Today's sketch is this awesome layered look, and it is from Laura Alberts. And so it's a cool sketch, very different from what I'm used to, so I liked it. So once I kind of figured out how I wanted this layered up, I just pulled out these greens and browns to kind of complement the photo. It's a picture of me and it's a picture of me at the table having dinner with my husband when we were in Kauai. And this layout will go in my Kauai album. And so it's got that tropical kind of a vibe to it. Even though the colors are not, the greens are tropical, but yeah, it's definitely got a tropical nod to it, I should say. And so I am definitely documenting this photo because this is kind of a little outside of my character, but we were driving around the island trying to figure out where we wanted to eat. And I think if I remember correctly, we had just gotten off of the helicopter tour and we wanted to go and grab a quick bite. We didn't want to have a huge meal, but we wanted something light because it was kind of in between dinner time and lunchtime. But we had an early lunch or something, and so because we were waiting for our helicopter tour and everything, which took place during when we would normally eat lunch. So yeah, we just wanted a light snack. And so as we're driving around, we saw this restaurant, it's not really a restaurant. It kind of is a restaurant, but it's called the Monkeypod Jam Cafe. They actually sell jams and stuff that are locally sourced items there. And so they have a little tiny area to eat, kind of like a cafe, but that's not their primary source of income. It's they're more known, I guess, for their jams and stuff. And unfortunately, because of COVID, they are closed now. I did read that they do want to come back at some point, but they're just kind of waiting for kind of things to pan out. But they are like a small, locally owned, locally sourced foods. And so when we went in there, they had this platter and it's called the fermented platter. And I was like, hey, let's get that. And that's really out of character for me. I'm not super adventuresome with eating. And my husband was like, are you sure you're going to like that? But it had pickles, and it had like brie, cheese, and bread, which I love that stuff. But it had pickles, and which I love. It had sea beans that were pickled, and that was kind of definitely the weird item. And you can actually see a picture of the sea bean on the bread in the upper right hand corner there, just above the distress ink. It looks really weird. They had pickled watermelon rind, and then two other things that were more normal, that I think pickled cabbage, and one other item. I can't remember what the other item was, but yeah, he thought it was really weird for me, so I wanted to go ahead and document it. And so now I've got the layout almost done, and I have barely just started. So as you saw, I took those pieces of paper and I basically made it look like they were layers. To me, they look like stair steps up to the top platform, which is my photo. But yeah, it's just like as if it was layers and you used one big strip across. Although I did not use a big strip, as you saw, because I didn't want to use all of my paper and cut new pieces. So I basically used scraps for most of this. And then I found that it was basically a 3x4 card. And I'm saying basically a lot, so I apologize for that. So that looks like a file folder envelope, or file folder, manila folder at the bottom. It was from a 3x4 card, and I basically just cut that out. And so it does have lines on it for journaling. And I apologize that you can't see along the bottom really well. In the sketch, you see there are some details across the bottom with the title over on the right-hand side. Well, I centered my title, and I layered up those papers kind of a little bit at an angle. I did not go straight across with them. So you see a little bit more of the brown on the right-hand side than the left-hand side, and a little bit more of the green on the left-hand side than the right-hand side. And I just like that it gives it a little bit of a different edgy look, maybe. And so then I'm going through my embellishments and trying to figure out what I'm going to use. While I do that, I'll remind you that all of the people that are playing along with Scraptember and 30 Days of Sketches are listed down down below in my description box so you can go and check them out. There's tons of inspiration, and a shout out to Laura and for the sketch, and to Laura and the Scrappy Sisters for all of their work on Scraptember, and to Christy over at Christy's Beautiful Life for 30 days of sketches. And I'm so excited that these were combined this month because I do love doing both of them. And normally Scraptember, or normally 30 days is not in September, but because there were some things going on in Christy's life, she pushed it out, and I'm really happy that she did, because it's been fun to incorporate both a sketch and a prompt each day into my layout. Now, as for the prompt is sequins today, so I am going to be using some sequins on this, but I don't use as many as a lot of people might use. I do use them on a lot of different layouts, but in this particular case, I just add a few here and there, kind of in the place of enamel dots, and so I really like the way that it ends up looking. There was this clear sticker from Heidi Swapp, and I went ahead and cut it out, and I backed it, or I didn't actually back it. In this case, I didn't back it because the paper that it's going on, it has a very subtle, that it's a green on green tone. Normally I would back that on white cardstock so that it didn't look like a clear sticker, but I didn't really need to because you could still see it just fine. That background paper is from Heidi Swapp. If you're interested in that, those gold mountains, those gold buildings down at the bottom, those are from Jen Hadfield's Chasing Adventures. The camera and the piece that's right behind the camera, those are from P13. The little word round sticker up in the upper right hand side is also from Heidi Swapp, I believe. And then I'm adding some gold little phrase stickers, and those are from Fifth and Monaco. And those are pretty much the collections that are making up my kit of papers for my Kawaii album. So I've got Heidi Swapp Art Walk, which this paper I don't think is from Art Walk. It is from Old School. And then the Chasing Adventures, a little bit of P13, Fifth and Monaco. And then I have a few odds and ends in there, like that green paper that's right next to the photograph. That's like a really old thin paper that just happened to be my stash, just has the right leaves on it. And then the brown wood grain is Fifth and Monaco. So in case you needed to know any of that. And then here I am, I'm adding my sequins. I'm doing something a little bit different. Instead of just putting a little threesome of sequins around each embellishment area, I am layering up my sequins. So I put down these sequins, and then I go back in, and there's some other colors, and there's a little tiny flower one, and I put it right on top. And you'll see those in the close-up. So I'm just kind of layering them up to give a different look. And I like the way that it looks. It's the first time that I've actually intentionally decided to layer up sequins. So there you go. And then my title's just down at the bottom, and it is Monkeypod Jam Cafe. And I will add my journaling to that journaling card in the center. Now in the sketch, the journaling is to the right of the photo, but to me it felt a little bit more off balance because my title is not all the way to the right, it is centered. And in the sketch it's balanced because she's got the journaling on the left and the title on the right, but because I was more centrally located with my title, I just kind of went with the centered journaling as well. And so that's pretty much going to do it, if I remember correctly. And I'm just inking up the outside edges with black. I did ink my papers with black, and that is because a lot of the stuff in my album is inked in black or has some kind of black touch to it. And so I really like the way that it turned out, and I hope that you do too. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back tomorrow for another day of Scraptember and 30 days of sketches. I will see you then. Bye-bye.